Hello, hello. This is Yuri with Moving Sales Professionals and Let's Talk Moving podcast. And with me today, I have Tiam Behdarvandan, the owner of Let's Get Moving, based in Canada and US, starting out in Toronto, Canada, and also the host of Move and Improve podcast and part of Tighten Up training. How do you have time to do all this?
Processes and systems, my friend, and also good people. That's how I think.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's definitely all about processes, and we all have to make sure that we have that stuff in place. So, Tiam, how did you get into the moving industry?
Good times. When I was young, I was studying for business at university, and at the same time, I needed money. I needed a part-time job. Moving was an easy job to get. I was thinking that way because it's kind of good money, good tips, and you can kind of pull it off if you have common sense. And with a little bit of training, you can be a pro. So I remember I went to a moving company in Toronto and they asked me if I had experience, and I said yes. So then I went home with no experience and I started watching YouTube videos, how to wrap a couch. I still remember that couch wrapping video, and I watched, I learned, and I went on the job. My first job, it was a little hectic. The first day, the foreman asked me to disassemble a bed. And I was like 19 years old. I don't even know if I'd assembled a bed or dismantled a bed before in my life, but I was gonna try. I remember taking everything apart. Everything was going good until the moment I took apart the headboard, and I just turned around to put the side piece down, and it just fell right back on my head while as I was looking the other way. And I'm there like just holding my head. I'm like, maybe this job is not the right job for me. And I was just second guessing things. The foreman was a really cool guy. He helped me a lot, held my hand through the training and everything. And we were actually moving it. We had to move a piano that day. I was told to lift it. One guy was on the other side to put the dolly under. I was able to lift it. That made me feel better. And I showed up the second day, showed up the third day, and we went from there where I was able to kind of learn about the back end, see the invoices, see how much money we were making, how much money we had to pay out, and how much was left. And I was astonished by how much money moving companies were making. And I was realizing this is kind of a gem. So therefore, I slowly started Let's Get Moving, my own company.
And now for a word from our sponsors. If you're a moving business owner, you may have already heard of Moversville, an email marketing service that helps moving companies increase, repeat, and referral business. But have you heard of Moversville Connect? Moversville Connect is an incredible resource for all things moving. They feature an array of vendors and services that cater specifically to the moving industry. You can find companies that provide moving software, moving sales services, marketing services, moving equipment providers, and much, much more. Visit moversville.com today to learn more.
I took a lot, to be honest. I didn't have any originality, I would say, at that time. And I was always trying to see what other companies were doing and learn from them and even copy them to a point where I had even copied the truck wrap design from the company that I worked for. And after a while, they were like, "Hey, Tim, what is this Let's Get Moving thing?" And I'm like, my dad started it. I'm just helping out. And then they saw the truck. They were like, "Nice truck wrap design." And that's where they were like, "All right, this is it." They got rid of me, and I had to kind of learn how to run a business. I was posting on places like Kijiji and Craigslist. Those were type of, you know, beginner level service-based companies start advertising. I started advertising there. It allowed me to get a few jobs here and there, small jobs. And I realized we need to be in different places if we want different clientele. So then I started advertising on Google and Facebook and different platforms. And I was almost at a stage where I just had no idea what I was doing and I didn't know where to look. So I remember there was a day I just went on Google and I typed in how to grow your moving company. And I came across Louis Massaro's videos. He was on live on Facebook, and I attended that video. And he saw me. He was telling people to ask questions, and I asked a question, and he really liked that question, and he actually gave me his sales course for free, which was like $2,000-3,000 at the time. And that was the first time I was introduced to any sort of mentorship, any sort of courses that can help me run my business better. And I absolutely fell in love and I fell in that path of wanting to learn. So went to his first seminar
When did
and
you go, Tiam?
it was in 2005 or sorry, 2000, yeah, 2005 or 15. Was it 15?
It
15
must have
or
been
sorry,
later. It wasn't five.
15. Sorry, 2015 or 17, somewhere around those times.
Okay, because the
And I
first
had
one I
like,
went to was 2018, just as I opened.
was that their first one? Because I think I
It
attended
might have
his
been.
first one.
It might have been. I'm not actually 100% sure if that was the first one or not. It was
Got
the
it.
first time I went to.
Yeah, I met some great people there that I'm still friends with till this day. And we networked with lots of amazing moving company owners and I learned a lot. And I just, for the first time, I felt like I belong somewhere and I am on the right path. So I stuck with it and I sat with my sales manager. We went through the sales course. It was like a good 3 to 4 months. We were literally in my house on the couch watching Louis Massaro's videos and building our processes step by step.
Does your company need more creative marketing and ad campaigns to improve traffic and organic leads? Well, Moving Sales Professionals has a solution for you. We have partnered with social media marketing agency that has over 300 million views on their ads and videos across social media, and they have generated over $35 million for their clients over the last 10 years alone. Their services include content creation, social media ads, pay-per-click campaigns, website and funnel development, Google Ads, email marketing campaigns, lead generation, and much, much more. For limited time only, they have discounted rates for their services. Sign up for a free consultation call with us via our Calendly link on our website or below this video.
The good thing was we had leads flowing, we had some sort of business, but the problem was we weren't converting as much. And
Right.
when we started introducing the the sales strategies, follow-ups, tactics, it completely revolutionized our business because we already had a good lead flow. We just weren't booking as much.
Mhm.
And we got the teachings that we needed right at that moment, and that's what allowed me to convert more of those leads and grow the business. And I kept going to Louis Massaro seminars, kept meeting great people, kept being on the right path. Then I hired Louis Massaro privately for like 3 years, I think. He helped me with everything: personal, business, everything you can think of. And that's why I really really like him and I really resonate with him, because there was never a question where he was like, that's out of my scope. And that's what really initially like made me fall in love with Lois initially when I saw him, because I was like, this guy's got it all. He's got a, great family, great mind, great head on his shoulders. He's a good speaker, has a lot of money, just the type of like idol you look at, right? And that's what really made me want to be with Lois, want to work with him, and he kind of passed on everything that he had to me, personal, business wise. And that helped me grow and match kind of the level of my business. My business was growing. COVID came. It was crazy times. And I
Best year
was,
ever.
oh yeah, best couple of years ever. I can't wait till
Best year ever.
another pandemic happens.
No, no, well, hopefully not. But
Hopefully,
that was definitely a good year for us.
yeah, hopefully not. But we just got to wait for business to come back and
Right.
kind of get
Which,
back to
I
normal.
feel like I feel like it's on the path there. But it's funny. So we were probably at the same events a few times. We just
Hmm.
somehow didn't cross paths because
Yeah, I feel like
I,
I've definitely seen you for
oh, I'm
sure.
sure. I'm sure I made rounds. I'm very good at talking to everybody. I'm definitely not somebody that's shy by any means of imagination. So
Yeah.
that would not describe me. But yeah, no, I've been to quite a few of them. I mean, for me, I went there for a different reason. So I wasn't inside of most of his events. I was basically on
Hmm.
the outside because I
Yes.
wasn't interested in Lewis. I was interested in people that were going to see Lewis. Because in my
Gotcha. Yeah.
case, I didn't need anybody by the time I went to the first Louis Massaro event, I was actually there with somebody that was selling the CRM. Basically, initially I was pushing the CRM, but I ended up switching my strategy. And I was basically, instead of saying, oh, this is a CRM, I would say, I'm Yuri, this is what I do, and this is the CRM that I prefer. So I had to
Hmm.
switch the whole thing
Absolutely.
around, but I basically 90% of the people that came to that suite for the stuff that we were doing there, I brought. So I talked to
Nice.
everybody that was at that one event specifically. But yeah, I mean, for me personally, I didn't need Lewis to teach me about sales because I already knew about it. And as far as follow up and everything else, that was my bread and butter. I've been very good at sales. It took me a while to accept that as the so-called calling and as my calling card and as my bread and butter. Because if you would have asked me 10 years ago, I would say I'm very good at sales, but I hate it.
Really?
These days, I love what I do and I love what we're doing here. And I think we've grown a long way. So for us, it's been more so, I was always about bringing the professional sales into the industry. And that comes along with follow up and everything else. So the problem is that when you talk about sales and you talk about moving industry, the a lot of moving companies, what do people that are on a truck that eventually open up their own company, what are they good at? They're good at moving, right?
Hmm.
So they're good at moving. So they have an eye for moving talent, so to speak, right? So
Hmm.
they have an eye for finding good movers that are going to do a good job, finding guys that are going to be foremen, finding that type of stuff, right?
Hmm.
But they're not necessarily good at sales. So sales is not necessarily their bread and butter, and that's exactly what it was for me. So for me,
Hmm.
I wanted to put professional sales into the industry to teach how to properly follow up, to teach how do you do things, right? So I was in fundraising. So in fundraising, we use the words such as case for giving, right? Why should you give me $10,000 when you gave me when you gave the organization $50 before? Why should you give me 10,000? Give me a reason why, right? So we called it case for giving. So as far as moving goes, it's similar. It's not necessarily case for giving. We can use different verbiage. It's more about reason why I should choose your company versus somebody else. Reason
Hmm.
why I should be choosing your organization. What is it that makes you different? What is it that makes you special? What is it that differentiates you from your competitors? Why should I be choosing you? Right? So
Hmm.
it's similar idea, so I took it from that, and I was, knock on wood, I've been very, very successful in that, and I've been very lucky and fortunate with people that I've been able to bring in and train, and they've understand that concept, and we've been able to take it quite a bit with that. So, I feel like there's a lot of things that are relative in business that you can make relatable.
Hmm.
I mean, to the point where honestly, I've had some people that I've interviewed for this podcast that were not moving people.
Hmm.
They might have been sales, they might have been advertising, they might have been just business people, right? But whatever it is that they were experts in that they talked about, I can take what they're saying on the call, on a recording and make it relatable specifically to the moving industry.
Hmm. I understand.
And I think that that's something that you have to adjust, right? Now,
Yeah.
obviously you have your own podcast as well. We see that logo in the back behind you, Move and Improve, right?
Hmm.
So how did that podcast come about?
That podcast, the initial goal was that I really wanted to show everybody the back end of Let's Get Moving. That's kind of the ultimate goal, so that there are different audiences, I would say. One being that moving companies that I've networked with that want to learn about certain things that Let's Get Moving does the right way, and they can learn from that. That's the initial type of audience that I'm targeting. Then my second audience would be people that are looking to buy franchises from Let's Get Moving. And what they do, they always go online. They want to do more research. They want to see our other locations. They want to see testimonials. They want to just learn more about Let's Get Moving. And having a podcast that really breaks down and we talk about, Google Ads, SEO with franchisees. We talk about many different things. And those would be ideal things for them to listen to get to know Let's Get Moving and understand if they want to do business with us. So those are the audiences that I created this for. And obviously, I love making I love making videos and podcasts, and it really helps me create content for social media as well. So podcast has kind of touched up on a couple of different things it's helped me with.
No, yeah, I understand. It's the same thing. I reach out and I tell people about what I do. And for me, the podcast is not designed to be salesy. I'm not here to sell you specifically and push my product or push my service, right?
Hmm.
I'm here to talk about the industry. I'm here to show you my knowledge. And if you find my knowledge captivating and you find what I'm talking about something that you can relate to and something that you need, then you can reach out and we can talk specifically about the service that we provide. But that's
Got it.
not something that I'm selling you on this podcast. That is not my goal. My goal is to talk education, to help people learn and
Hmm.
listen to some of the people that can provide the information that you're going to need. So I think that's important as well. Now, so you
Absolutely.
and I in that regard have similar goals, I think, right? Now, you're also part of Tighten Up training, and
Oh yeah.
I'm certainly familiar, and I've worked with a lot of these guys, and I've chatted with a lot of these guys that are that work with Tighten Up, and I haven't been to their event yet, but I will
Oh
make it.
really?
I'll make it there eventually.
You're missing out, man. It's really cool out there.
It's still in its early stages, so I'll get there one eventually.
Well, these guys were, a long time ago, they were doing it in big Airbnbs, and now they've got huge venues booked out. And there are lots of great people to network with, man. I think you would really, really benefit from the 500, 600 moving companies that are attending there. I think you would love to have some good chats with people there.
Sure, at some point, but I'll make it there eventually.
Good,
That
man.
is,
Good.
that is in the books. I'm working on other projects, but yes. Is there anything revolutionary that new that you're doing today or planning to do in the near future? What are you thinking? What's
Um,
next?
we are feeling really, really good about our next steps in US and going into US in terms of opening the exact locations that are going to be absolutely successful. And we've done, over 70, 75 locations now across US and Canada. And it's
Really?
helped
Wow,
us,
that's impressive.
yes, thank you. And it's helped us really understand from the franchisees who are low performers that might have a really good location and high performers that might end up with a smaller location just because they live there and so on. And now we are really working with specific data that is allowing us to know exactly what kind of moves, how many moves is happening on a monthly basis. And with our data, we've been able to understand what kind of location we're opening up, how many jobs they're going to have approximately. And it's really allowed us to revolutionize building our territories so that they are all going to be absolutely successful instead of opening bunch of smaller locations. And this data has really helped us open really big, successful locations within US and Canada. And this is what we're mostly excited about. And that's what we're pushing out right now. Like our sales is doing really phenomenal here. And after that was our biggest complication was knowing exactly where to open. And now that we have kind of got that together, we are just ready to roll out new locations and help people open up businesses and help them get to a place where possibly they couldn't have without the systems and things that we've created here. Or maybe it would take a long time for them to create.
No, that's awesome. That's awesome. Now, so obviously we're talking franchising. So what would somebody have to do, or what are some of the parameters that you're looking for somebody that's your perfect franchisee, for example?
That's a great question, Yuri. Honestly, right now, the cool part about Let's Get Moving and our partnerships with our franchisees is that we make it easy and we just let them have the fun part of the business. Buying a truck, hiring movers, doing the job, and completing the payment and growing their fleet and growing their business. Literally, that's all they need to take care of. What I look for are people with good hearts. That's all I need. And obviously, they need to have a little bit of investment so that they can buy the truck and the office and move their business forward. But our partnership has been really, really good because we make it simple in a way that we do all the back end work. Marketing, SEO, websites, emails, phone numbers, managing the website, bookings, actually doing the sales for them. So we deliver jobs to them with a deposit on it, like literally on a platter. All they need to do is just complete the job. So doing all the back end systems just makes it a lot easier for them to grow and do the fun part and just see the the best parts of it. And we do all the back end, the parts that are not fun, and we've already systematized it, made it
That
into like the
depends. The
machine.
sales part is fun.
Sales part is fun. Oh yeah,
Says the
that's not
salesperson.
that. Yeah, that's not the part I'm talking about. The part, honestly, look, every part of it is fun. When you work with great people here and when they know what they're doing, it is so much fun for me to come to work every single day and see all these people I genuinely feel at home. And my franchisees love these guys, and my own corporate locations have been doing better because of them. So it's just been a really, really good relationship, and it's a lot of fun for us. But if you don't know and you have to learn for 10 years doing all this stuff, then it's not fun.
Oh yeah, no, because like you're talking about, it's the same thing when people come to us for us to do sales for them. We bring wealth of experience for us. So if
Mm-hmm.
sales is not
Exactly.
your cup of tea, you want to have
Exactly.
somebody that can take care of that for you. So obviously that does make a big difference.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's important that your business gets the right attention in its different departments. Like you cannot wear 20 different hats, do 5% of sales, 5% of moving, 5% of customer service, 5% of this, 5%. That will never get anywhere. And you slowly need to start getting rid of hats and putting the right people in place and growing the business.
Yeah, absolutely. So what would you recommend to somebody that was starting out in the industry?
I would say the most important thing is to figure out what you want from starting a business. Are you trying to build a brand? Are you trying to build a name? And are you trying to build a legacy for yourself? Or are you trying to get to financial freedom as soon as possible? If you want to build a name, you got to go through the hardship. You got to build everything. You have to do it all from scratch, and you have to put your love and care, every single effort into it until it gets to a really good place. And then you can advertise it, sell it, grow it, and go from there. And you got to go through the hardship, and you got to go through a lot of mistakes and a lot of money being wasted through those mistakes.
Absolutely.
However, if you're looking for financial freedom as quickly as possible, I would definitely recommend go towards a franchise business that is very reputable, that already has good history, and they know what they're doing. That way, you can get to financial freedom a lot faster than having to go through all those mistakes. All the mistakes you were going to make and all the money you were going to waste, you can just pay and buy a franchise. And instead, you start the right way, you start on the right foot, and you just start making money right away instead of making
Right.
mistakes.
But of course, if you're going that route, you may need a little bit more money up front.
Oh,
To be
absolutely.
clear, because if you're doing
Exactly.
it, what's the standard process for somebody that wants to be a mover, right? They get off the truck working for somebody else. They
Mm-hmm.
open up a company. They pay their registration fees for the companies. They get the
Yes.
insurance. Not all
Yes.
of them get the insurance that fast because maybe they don't have the money to get the insurance right away. So
Yes.
they start getting on the truck. They're on the road. They're talking to customers. They're doing a little bit of advertising. Maybe they're knocking on doors. But there's a
Mm-hmm.
lot of running around that you have to do to get to that point. So
Yeah,
while
absolutely.
you're spending less dollars up front, you're
Mm-hmm.
spending more dollars in the sense of time that you're putting into
Exactly.
it because you're putting in a
Absolutely.
lot of time. And
Yes.
if you basically put that time that you're spending into dollars,
Mm-hmm.
it may run up to the similar amount of money that we're talking about getting into a franchise situation.
Absolutely. And people are just in different stages of their life. People
Right.
sometimes have money, no time, and they have time and no money.
Right.
Those are the different type of people that have to go different routes, but ultimately, hopefully all towards success.
Okay. But of course, we can talk about this for hours. And
Yes.
Tiam, I appreciate you taking your time with me and joining us today. Like I always say, the world moves on its own, so let the professionals move yours for you. Thank you once again very much for joining us, and we'll talk again soon. Guys, I'm going to provide some information here for Tiam so you can check out the franchising opportunities. So please
Thank
like,
you.
please subscribe, please check out Move and Improve, and please check out Let's Get Moving based in Canada and US with all the locations and see if maybe their franchise opportunities, what is going to work for you.
Thank
Once
you.
again, thank you very much, and we'll talk again soon.